Welcome to Nostology. We're your host, Shelley.
And I'm Jessica.
And today we're going to talk about something super fun. Your
Like
mortgage
always.
payment. Yes, and how and why your mortgage payment might change. We're going to talk about tips on what you can do that would impact your mortgage payment. Super fun stuff.
Yes. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand really the breakdown. I see it all the time. I mean, you and I are amazing, so all of our clients know about their mortgage
We
payment.
over-explain everything.
Yes, we probably annoy everybody. But yeah, we see it on Facebook. In January especially, they're like, suddenly my mortgage payment went up and they're drafting a higher number. What happened? Why is this? I have a fixed rate.
Right? I
And
know.
then-
And that's the only part, actually, you guys. Okay, so we're going to break it down a little bit today. We're going to talk about the PITI and what that actually means.
Yes.
So the fixed port, the fixed port,
The fixed port.
the fixed part. Goodness, my caffeine's kicking in a bit too much today. So
Maybe you
the
need more
fixed
sleep.
portion, maybe so. Always need more sleep. So the principal and interest. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. So your principal and interest, that is the actual only part of the mortgage payment that is fixed. Okay, that's the part that cannot change unless you refinance to a different rate, a different term. But that's the part that, well, basically just can't change. There's two other pieces to it. If you have an escrow account for your taxes and your insurance, then we're going to dive a little deeper into like taxes. Taxes can change. What have you
Yeah.
seen?
Well, and so you're saying escrow. So
Oh, sorry,
I'm 5.
escrow, five.
I'm 5 years old.
5 years
I'm
old.
Michael Scott. I'm 5. Go.
Maybe three.
Yes.
Yeah, so escrow, let's back up a minute. So that is when you have your taxes and your insurance that you pay monthly in your mortgage payment. And so that is held in an escrow account. So the mortgage company will actually pay your taxes when they come due and your homeowner's insurance when they come due annually. Both.
And
are annually.
most of you out there probably do escrow this. And I mean, for most people, this is the best way to do it. So that way you don't have thousands of dollars that you have to come up with all at once at the end of the year. So most of you do have this escrow account.
Yeah, it's a personal choice, and
Yeah.
depending if you have enough equity.
Yes. So, and I know people who have enough equity that still do it because they
Yeah.
don't trust themselves to not spend that money.
Oh, exactly. Or like myself, like you have like big check writing phobia. Like I don't like to write the big check in December for the property taxes, so I rather
Makes you
than
hyperventilate.
it's a little bit less painful to take it out monthly. Like just go ahead and collect it and pay it for me, please, so I don't have to worry about paying that around Christmas time.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's when they're all due. We've got our business taxes and all the things. So
All the things.
it's nice to have that taken care of
Yeah.
already.
So taxes can change. How often can they change?
Your taxes change every year. So, well, breaking it down to the basics, your taxes, property taxes, it's the tax rate. So there's two factors. It's the rate for your area multiplied by your value. So you have two factors there you have to contend with. So the rate, and this is something you don't have a ton of control over, but you do have some influence.
And you're talking about your tax rate, not your mortgage rate.
tax rate.
Tax
Yes.
rate, okay.
Tax rate. So your tax rate will depend on what city you're in, what county you're in, school district. So when you look at your tax bill that comes out in the spring, like your estimate, you can see the breakdown of the portions that go to all the different places. But stay informed on what's happening in your area because, you know, if there's a bond proposal for your school district to build 5 new schools, that's going to impact your taxes. You're going to be paying for that. So you have the option to vote and participate in having these things happen. Because, I mean, most of the time they are for great things that we need the new schools, whatever it is. But those are factors that will impact your taxes. But then the value portion, that you can dispute. So when you get that estimate in the spring, if you don't think it's right, you can go to the county office and dispute it.
Well, I've heard that you actually should just protest it every year. Is that really a thing?
Well, actually, so I don't think so.
No? Okay. Let's talk about it.
Well, in the past, a lot of people were successful in doing that, but the last couple of years, I've heard some people who say that they went to go protest and they actually raised it.
What?
So you want to know that, is that actually accurate? So the value that they put on there, And it'll have like market value, but then it'll have assessed value. So there's going to show two different values. You want to look at assessed value. That's what they're taxing you on. If you don't know what your house is worth, which you should stay informed on that.
Yes, you should. But who can you reach out to?
A real estate agent.
A real estate agent, yes.
So we can do that. I do that for all my clients. I get messages in the spring. I always know when those tax bills arrive because I get all the messages. But yeah, we can run some numbers and tell you like, hey, that's pretty on par, or you're above or below. And then you can decide, mine the last few years has been so far below value that I'm just keeping quiet.
Mine too. Mine too. I was like, I'm going to keep quiet. Yeah. It was odd last year. They actually went down.
Mine did. Well,
so I left it alone and just kept quiet.
My assessed value stayed the same, but the market value did drop on mine. So in that, how those numbers are different, we'll get into that too. But when you are unsure, like I said, find out what the value is. That way you know. And if your value is too high, there's directions on your statement that tell you how to go about protesting. So it'll have all the directions for you, but you'll want to provide facts. You want to provide recent sales in your area that show that the value's less. You can also show them issues in your home. So maybe your home is in disrepair. Maybe you need $20,000 in foundation work. You can actually take those invoices or take pictures of the problems in the house and show them that yours is not comparable to the others that have sold.
Oh, wow. And you also, you need to do this right away because there is a cutoff date every year,
yes.
Right?
What is it? I think May 15th?
May 15th. May 15th. Yeah.
So when you
got to protest by that point, right?
You have to at least submit your request for it. And there's some different ways. Like I said, the directions are all on there. And some of the options may be different depending on what county you're in with the ways that they have you protest.
So just follow the directions.
Yep.
Actually pay attention to that. Like open your mail, pay attention,
yes.
Read the document so you are aware and you're not blindsided if your payment goes up.
Yep. So then what are other ways that we impact our taxes? We have homestead. I guess let's talk just exemptions in general. You can file exemptions on your property to help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the first one you should do when you buy the house is what?
Homestead.
Homestead exemption. What does that mean?
So this is for your primary residence, and it gives you some tax breaks. So it's in a couple different ways. First, they take $100,000 off the value before taxing it. So like I said, you're multiplying tax rate by the value. If your home is valued at $500, you're only going to be taxed on $400.
And that's a good thing. Like, you're not going to get penalized if you go to sell it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, actually, it helps because you're keeping the value. Well, this is the other part of it. You're keeping the value lower because there's a cap on how high they can raise your taxes each year. They can only go up 10%. So every year. So that's where I was saying mine's so far below value because we've been in our house for 15 years. So, and we've had homestead that entire time. So in the years where we had 20, 30% increases in property values, our taxes only went up 10. So that was the most they could do. So that's where I'm saying that market value, our market value is higher, but the assessed value is much lower because we've been able to keep that at bay. So that's great when we sell it because our taxes are way lower than some of our neighbors.
Yes.
What are other exemptions?
So a couple other exemptions. If you're over 65, you get an exemption, and you've got to go to the county website and you've got to fill out the exemption form. So don't forget, it's not something they do for you automatically. You actually have to do it yourself. There's also an exemption for veterans, disabled veterans as well. So if you happen to be 100% disabled veteran in Texas, you don't pay property taxes.
It's awesome.
How cool is that?
Yes.
So you've got that. Now, also, there are different levels of disability, right? So you got to look at your particular county and see if you're, a 10%, 20% disabled veteran, for example, that's going to be a certain percentage off of your value of your home. They're going to take a certain amount off, but it is tiered. So it is based upon the percentage. So you've got to go to your county, check it out, see what you can save.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've had a few clients who've been able to not pay any taxes because they're 100% disabled. So I love that. Actually, one thing back to the homestead. So there has been a change. It used to be that you filed, like you said, when you buy the house, you file it and it's there forever. It has recently changed where
that's
they
right.
can.
You reminded me of that. Thank you.
Well, it's a little frustrating because it hasn't been shared very well. So a lot of people don't realize they can require renewals every 5 years now. And so my conversations with the appraisal districts, I've talked to a few of them in our area, they said it's not an automatic you have to renew every 5 years, but they're picking and choosing, I guess. So what they're going to do is they'll send you a renewal notice and let you know that you have to renew it. But there were a lot of people I talked to. I looked up all my past clients, and there were a lot of people who lost their homestead exemptions. It wasn't showing anymore, but they never got the notice. So you do want to stay on top of that one.
Absolutely. You're a good friend. You checked out mine and told me I was okay, and I appreciate that.
Yes. So, but there were a lot of people who didn't. And I got a message on TikTok from a girl the other day. She saw her value. Her value on her house was like $100,000, but went up to like $250,000. And she messaged me. She's like, "What is this?" Their homestead fell off, and so it went up more than double. Her taxes more than doubled. And I know that's going to happen a lot. People who didn't pay attention to that statement when it came in, the tax bill will come at the end of the year, and they don't have that on there. So it's scary that there's going to be some people who have a very shocking.
Be informed and pay attention. Yes. Pay attention.
The way you find out, if you're curious, you can look up search your county appraisal district, and you can look up your address, and there should be a box that says exemptions, and it should say HS next to it for homestead. If it doesn't say that, then you need to renew. Or you can call them if you're not sure how to find that information. So,
perfect. Okay.
Is that it for taxes? That's a lot on taxes.
That's a lot on taxes. It is. It is. So
fun.
So fun. So fun.
Taxes?
Breaking down your mortgage payment. What else we have? Oh, insurance. So homeowners insurance. That is also something. Yeah. Super fun. But that is a part of your mortgage payment, right? Or either it's a part of your mortgage payment or you pay it separately if you, again, don't have that escrow account, but you still have to pay it regardless, right? So insurance is pretty much required. And
this has been a big factor in
big
people
one this year.
A lot of the people who are struggling with their new mortgage payment, it's taxes. How much did yours go up?
No, you mean insurance.
Or insurance, I'm sorry.
Oh my
insurance.
gosh. My homeowner's insurance policy doubled.
Yeah.
This year. Doubled. I was shocked. Yeah. So that's going on. And, don't go yelling and raging on your insurance people. They're kind of like the same as mortgage people with rates. We're all getting the wrath of that. But it's not their fault, y'all. It's these crazy storms that we've had.
Yeah.
I heard, I was talking to an insurance company, and there were over like 1,000 storms in 2023.
Yeah.
And there's more this year in 2024.
I mean, look, well, the amount of rain we've had alone, but all these storms, the tornado that went through.
So sad.
Pilot Point and, that Valley View.
Valley View.
And, just so much destruction. And then the windstorms that we've had. I had a neighbor lose half their roof with that windstorm, 2 weeks ago? The hail.
So the roof damage. I mean, it's really, it's been really crazy as far as insurance goes. So, insurance is something you can check into, and, you should be kind of reviewing that just like all of this other information at least once a year.
Yep.
And taking a look and seeing, okay, what does your policy cover? Maybe check with a couple other providers. Sorry, insurance people. But maybe just make sure that you've got, the best policy and the best rate in place, because we've been seeing a lot of increases. So I get phone calls too from past clients with regards to, why did my mortgage payment go up? I thought this was a fixed rate. Well, it's your taxes or your insurance.
Yeah. Well, and with the insurance, shopping around, and yes, I'm sorry, insurance agents, I know this is hard, but you do want to shop around, because sometimes we see there's some that are a lot higher policies. And so by switching to another company, one option is talk to an insurance broker, because some of the companies, you talk to an insurance agent and they only can sell that one product, that one company. So a broker can shop around for you. So you're not having to be the one to do all the legwork. So they can go shop around, come back to you and say, here's the best 3 policies we found. Here's the prices. Here's what they cover.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the easiest ways to do it. So that way you're not the one having to call everyone. You can also ask let them know your situation, especially if this is a struggle. You're having trouble making these payments. Look at maybe a higher deductible. Now, keep in mind
Be
that
careful
means
with that.
Yes.
But yes, you're right.
And some of them actually are going up to a minimum of 1.5 to 2, where 1% was kind of the norm before.
Yeah,
so we're
they
seeing
are.
that as kind of a baseline. But if you really are struggling with it, if you took a 2 or 3% deductible, but yes, you have to be careful, because if you have a totaled roof from a windstorm, you have to be ready that that's going to be your payout instead. So I had a client once, he needed a new roof, and he did not realize the policy he picked had a 5% deductible.
Oh my gosh.
So it was actually more expensive than just replacing the roof. So they just pay cash to replace the roof.
Oh my goodness.
So I've
sad.
never seen one that high before.
Crazy.
But yeah,
Well-
shop around and talk to the agents. Get a good agent who can explain. Make sure you understand what your policy entails, because especially if you're having to make cutbacks, knowing what your policy is going to cover for you.
Yeah, at least you have some options, because, you can lower the monthly payment on that if you increase the deductible, and it might just be for a year,
Yep.
right? Because you can change
Just a
that.
season. Yeah.
it's
If
a
you have
season.
a season in your life where things are hard, you've lost a job, something has to be cut. You can also, if you have put on a new roof or you've done any work in the house, talk to this is where you need to have a conversation with an agent. Don't just do the online quotes. Talk to someone. Like I just had a client replace their roof, and the type of shingles that they did, they got a special certificate with it that they could provide to insurance, and it got them a discount because of the type of roof that they put on. So
Good to know.
you may have something that is special like that can help you to save a little bit.
Perfect. Yeah. Call your insurance provider on that one. What else can affect your payment? Mortgage insurance.
Yes.
That's a fun one.
Yes.
That's a fun one. So some people have mortgage insurance. And depending on your loan type, you may or may not be able to get rid of it. But if you are on a conventional loan product and you've got substantial equity, which we've seen a lot of equity growth, you might be able to drop that mortgage insurance. So, there's a couple ways to do that. One is to refi. Not a lot of people are doing that right at the moment with where rates are, if you've got a
That doesn't
lower
make sense.
interest rate. But that is one way in the past that people have been able to drop the mortgage insurance. They refinance, there's additional equity, and then the mortgage insurance is dropped off on the new loan. But if you have it now and you have a great interest rate and you don't want to mess with that, and you've got some equity, always stay in touch with your real estate agent, because that way, I know, Jessica, you would help people out. Like if they called and said, hey, what do you think my value is? Get a real good idea. You can call the mortgage company and say, hey, I think I have enough equity. 20% is kind of what the mortgage company is looking for. So if you've got 20% equity, then give them a call, the mortgage servicer company. You'll have to pay for an appraisal to be done, but you don't want to pay for that unless you think you have enough equity.
Right. Yeah. Don't just go and pay $600 for an appraisal, because if your value's not there. And, we can get you some rough numbers to see what we think the value is. But yeah, so when do people have mortgage insurance? When are they going to have mortgage insurance on their loan?
They're going to have mortgage insurance, so it could be an FHA loan.
Okay.
So FHA does require mortgage insurance. But also if they put down less than 20% on a conventional loan, then they're going to have mortgage insurance, and that's the part that can fall off the loan and save them on a monthly payment. So you don't want to wait for the mortgage company to do it, because all they're looking at is the amount of principal that you've been making, the payment, right?
Yeah,
to
because
reduce that.
I know I see this all the time at closing when they're signing. It'll give a date. It'll say on,
Oh my
May
gosh, it's usually like 11
30th
years
of-
down the road, like,
It's in-
no.
In 15 years, it'll fall off.
Yeah, don't
so-
wait for that.
Yes. So then, especially with the home prices going up, you're gaining more of that equity sooner. So we've had people, oh my gosh, well, when the market was crazy, we had someone who was able to drop their PMI 6 months after.
Oh my gosh, I know.
So, but it's taking a little bit longer now. But if you're making
but
larger
3
payments,
years is better than 11.
it is. So,
It's not money you would throw away,
yep.
depending on the amount of the mortgage. But going back to call the mortgage company, the mortgage servicer, have an appraisal request,
Yep.
and they'll go out and double check, and they should be able to drop it if you've got enough equity. So that's another way to save on your monthly payment.
It is. That's good. All right.
What else
Well,
you got?
I think that's it for mortgage payments. So that was so
we
much
love
fun.
mortgage payments. So much fun. So much fun. Let us know if you have any questions on any of that.
And if you do have any questions, you can reach out to us at our email, nestologypodcast@gmail.com, or you can check us out on our socials. It's going to be on Facebook and Instagram, Nestology Podcast.
Thank you for joining us, where we hope you make the best of your nest.
Bye.
Bye.